You're listening to Agile, skill thrills and business chills. Join hosts Laura and Brian as they explore the skills and insights you need to succeed in today's business world. Let's dive in.
Ever heard that one about the Scrum Master crossing the road? Okay, I'll spare you the punchline.
Yeah.
But honestly, that cheesy joke got me thinking, what does a Scrum Master actually do?
Right.
That's our deep dive today, unpacking the mysteries of the Scrum Master and why you should care, especially if you're knee-deep in projects like me.
Right.
We've got some fascinating articles here about Agile project management and how the Scrum Master fits into it all. And let me tell you, it's way more than just herding cats, though there might be some of that too. So before we jump into the nitty-gritty, can you give us a quick definition of Agile for anyone who might be new to the concept?
Absolutely. In a nutshell, Agile is a project management approach that emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, and continuous improvement. Instead of a rigid waterfall approach where you plan everything up front, Agile is all about breaking projects down into smaller chunks called sprints.
Okay.
And constantly adapting to change.
Right. It's all about being nimble and responsive, kind of like a jazz ensemble versus a symphony orchestra.
I like that analogy.
So where does the Scrum Master come in? One article I read called him the unsung hero of Agile teams.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Scrum Masters are often working behind the scenes, removing obstacles, and ensuring the team has everything they need to succeed. They're not usually the ones in the spotlight, but their impact is undeniable.
They make it look easy, but I bet it takes a special set of skills to be that behind-the-scenes conductor.
Absolutely. One crucial aspect is their role as a facilitator.
Yeah.
For instance, a good Scrum Master might use a technique called daily stand-ups. It's a short, focused meeting where each team member shares their progress, what's blocking them, and their plan for the day.
So it's about keeping everyone in sync and identifying any potential roadblocks early on.
Precisely. And because these stand-ups happen every day, it helps the team stay adaptable and address issues before they snowball into bigger problems.
Got it. So it's not about micromanaging tasks, but rather setting the stage for the team to work effectively.
Exactly. It's about empowering the team to manage themselves, not dictating every move.
Which is probably why they're called a Scrum Master and not a Scrum Dictator.
Well, there you go. And speaking of that master title, it's often misunderstood. One article really emphasized that a true Scrum Master leads by serving the team, not the other way around.
It's that whole servant leadership thing, right?
Precisely. They're there to remove roadblocks, facilitate communication, and ensure the team has everything they need to be successful. It's about creating an environment where everyone feels empowered and supported.
So less about cracking the whip and more about clearing the path.
Now you're getting it. Think of it this way. The Scrum Master is like a shepherd, gently guiding their flock across a field, making sure they stay together, avoid obstacles, and ultimately reach their destination. They're not dragging them along or telling them exactly where to step, but they are providing guidance and support along the way.
Okay, so they're like a shepherd, but instead of a staff, they've got a whiteboard and a stack of sticky notes.
Huh. That's a pretty accurate visual.
And speaking of sticky notes, I think this is a good place to talk about retrospectives. One article really dug into their importance, but I have to admit I'm a bit fuzzy on the specifics. Can you break down what happens during a retrospective and why they're so important in Agile?
You bet. A retrospective is essentially a structured meeting that happens at the end of each sprint.
And just a reminder for our listeners, a sprint is like a mini project within the larger project, right?
Exactly. Sprints usually last a couple of weeks, and at the end of each one, the team has a retrospective.
Okay.
It's a chance for them to come together and reflect on what went well, what didn't go so well, and what they can do differently next time.
So it's like a team debrief, but with a focus on continuous improvement.
That's a great way to put it. The Scrum Master plays a crucial role in these retrospectives. They're not there to point fingers or assign blame, but to guide the team through a structured process of reflection and identification of actionable improvements.
Sounds like there's a real art to facilitating a good retrospective.
There definitely is. One technique I often use is called start, stop, continue. The team brainstorms things they should start doing, things they should stop doing, and things they should continue doing.
I love how simple and actionable that is.
Exactly. It helps cut through the noise and focus on concrete steps for improvement. Another framework that's quite popular is GLAD, SAD, MAD. The team identifies things they were glad about during the sprint, things that made them sad or frustrated, and things that made them mad.
Okay, so maybe not mad in the literal sense.
Right? More like things that caused friction or frustration. The goal is to surface those pain points so the team can address them constructively.
This is all reminding me of that quote, "The only way to do great work is to love what you do." And it seems like part of the Scrum Master's role is to create an environment where people actually enjoy the work and feel empowered to make it better.
That's a great insight. You hit the nail on the head there. A positive and supportive team dynamic is essential for continuous improvement. If people don't feel comfortable speaking up or sharing their ideas, you're missing out on valuable opportunities for growth.
And that's where the Scrum Master's ability to foster open communication and build trust comes into play.
Exactly. They create that safe space where everyone feels heard and respected. Remember, it's not just about getting the work done, it's about creating a culture of continuous learning and improvement.
Right, because crossing the road isn't just about getting to the other side.
It's about enjoying the journey and learning along the way.
Okay, I like where you're going with this, but maybe we can retire the crossing the road analogy for now.
Agreed. I think we've squeezed all the metaphorical juice out of that one.
So we've established that Scrum Masters are kind of like the glue that holds everything together, making sure the team is functioning at its best.
They are. And you know what's fascinating to me is that so much of what makes a Scrum Master successful isn't tied to any particular industry or project type. It's really about those core leadership and communication skills that transcend any specific field.
That's a great point. So it's not just about knowing Agile inside and out. It's about being able to connect with people, build trust, and navigate those inevitable moments of conflict.
Absolutely. In fact, I'd argue those soft skills are becoming even more valuable in today's world. Think about it. Teams are often more distributed, projects are becoming increasingly complex, and the pace of change is only accelerating.
It's like trying to conduct an orchestra during an earthquake.
Huh. I like that analogy. And in that kind of environment, having someone who can maintain a sense of calm, build consensus, and keep everyone moving forward is invaluable.
They're like the eye of the storm, providing that sense of stability and direction.
Exactly. And that calm, steady presence can make all the difference for a team under pressure, especially when things get a bit, shall we say, agile.
Okay, I see what you did there.
I couldn't resist. But on a serious note, we've been talking a lot about what a Scrum Master does, but I'm curious, what about the kind of person who thrives in this role? Any insights there?
That's a great question. It's almost like we need a deep dive into the deep divers themselves.
Huh. And game if you are.
But
based on my experience, the best Scrum Masters tend to be naturally curious and empathetic. They genuinely enjoy helping others succeed and are always looking for ways to improve the team dynamic.
So not just taskmasters, but people.
Precisely. They understand that at the end of the day, it's all about people and fostering a positive, collaborative environment where everyone feels valued and respected.
And maybe a bit of a cheerleader on the side.
A dash of that never hurts. A good Scrum Master knows how to celebrate successes no matter how small and keep the team motivated even when the going gets tough.
It's that whole we're in this together mentality, right?
Exactly. And that can make all the difference in a high-pressure project environment. So, to wrap things up, if someone's listening to this thinking, hey, I want to be a Scrum Master, where do I sign up? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, what's the path to Scrum Master enlightenment?
First off, I'd say go for it. It's a challenging but incredibly rewarding field with lots of opportunities for growth. And the great thing is, you don't necessarily need a fancy degree to get started. There are tons of resources available online, including courses, certifications, and communities of practice where you can connect with other Scrum Masters and learn from their experience.
So it's not just about book smarts, it's about practical experience and connecting with the Agile community.
Absolutely. Get out there, get your hands dirty, and don't be afraid to ask for help or mentorship along the way. The Agile world is full of supportive and knowledgeable people who are always willing to share their insights.
That's great advice. Well, there you have it, folks, a deep dive into the world of Scrum Masters. Hopefully, you've walked away with a better understanding of what these Agile gurus do, why their role is so critical, and maybe even a little inspiration to try out some of these techniques in your own work.
And remember, whether you're building the next killer app, launching a marketing campaign, or just trying to bring a little more agility to your daily routine, a little Agile thinking can make all the difference.
Beautifully said. And on that note, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of Scrum Masters. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
Until then, stay Agile.